Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the Singapore Fintech Festival, and joining me for this segment we have Jessie Ng. She's Associate Director at SGX Group. We're to talk about the energy transition, certainly a hot topic at SFF this year. Jessie, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the energy transition as it relates to the virtual car complex. What has SGX Group been doing as it relates to that?
So thanks for asking this question, and what we have done and broached as well as developed quite extensively is the virtual car complex. And what is the virtual car complex? Is us as an exchange offering a suite of commodities for the construct of an EV. So before I delve a bit deeper into that, I thought maybe to share a bit of context, and something that we have seen quite a bit of success is actually our virtual steel mill. And what is the virtual steel mill was that on the exchange today, we have various commodities that actually forms the production of steel. So the likes of iron ore that gets processed by coking coal for the production of steel, and all of this of course is transported by freight. So with all of these components in place and with the successes that we have seen, we thought to replicate this to something in the automobile space, and particularly EVs. So for EVs, we have the petrochemical contracts, which are for the interior of a car. We have tires, rubber that produces that. We have iron ore that gets fit into engines, and most recently, batteries is a suite of products that we have launched. And batteries, very interesting area because it's the key differentiator between an EV and an internal combustion engine car. And I think you would be interested to know that an EV, if it costs about $100,000, about 30 to 40% goes into batteries.
Into the battery. How can this propel the commodities industry towards more greener energy?
Yeah, so I think it's important to recognize that the transportation sector is a key focal area for many nations that's embarking towards decarbonization and net zero policies, really because this particular sector actually emits close to 1/5 of the world's greenhouse gases, and of which about 50% comes from passenger cars. So EVs definitely have a very big part to play, and what we have seen alongside ESG policies and net zero policies are governmental support. In US, there is the Inflation Reduction Act that actually carves out something specially for energy, particularly for EVs and batteries. In the eastern regions, you have China that actually have policies, subsidies, tax exemption policies, really just to promote the sale and demand of EVs. So for SGX, what we can do is actually an offering on our product shelf, mechanisms for price discovery, mechanisms for price transparency, especially when there are more and more contracts moving towards index link. And it is a particular industry that we are seeing heightened volatility on the back of supply and demand inefficiencies. So very important role for a paper contract for derivatives to actually play in this ecosystem.
Tell us about the recent launch SGX had with energy metals derivative contracts. What is SGX's plan in moving that forward?
Yeah, so there are quite a number of exchanges in this particular area, including SGX, and that's really because we are seeing a huge momentum in this particular region, in this particular sector, and we believe that derivatives can actually play a function, a good utility for the ecosystem. So I would say two main things that we as an exchange can stand out. One being a pretty comprehensive suite of derivatives and commodities that we have, and particularly for batteries, SGX is the only exchange that have 2 out of the 4 commodity contracts available globally. This allows market participants, industry participants to be able to hedge precisely as to which products they may have physical exposures to. And on the second bit, I think something that SGX have is us being in Asia. We have a foothold in the Asian region, and together with our international presence, we are able to bridge markets from both the East and the West that we are seeing supercharged growth in the EV sector. So all in all, I would say we are not stopping here. This is a very interesting sector. We are speaking continuously with industry participants to better understand the developments that we're seeing here so that we can further strengthen and grow this suite of products for the industry.
All right, Jessie, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me throughout the day at the Singapore Fintech Festival. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.